Good morning, ma'am and sir. I'm a WIMSU student and I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude for your time. Today, I'd like to talk about climate change and how it will manifest itself in response to various problems, opportunities, and situations. The following topics that I will be discussing are flood, food waste, deforestation, and wastewater.
But first, let me explain what climate change is. It is a long term change in the average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's local, regional, and global climates is referred to as climate change. These modifications have a wide range of impacts that are synonymous with the term. The primary cause of climate change is the burning of fossil fuels, such as oil and coal, which emits greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, primarily carbon dioxide. Other human activities, such as agriculture and deforestation, also contribute to the proliferation of greenhouse gases that cause climate change. So we have flood are the most frequent type of natural disaster and occur when an overflow of water submerges land that is usually dry. Floods are often caused by heavy rainfall, rapid snowmelt, or a storm surge from a tropical cyclone or tsunami in coastal areas. Human activities that degrade the environment often increases flooding. These activities include deforestation. The lack of vegetation encourages water to flow over the surface rather than infiltrate into the soil, thus increasing surface runoff. Flood is one of the most dangerous natural disasters. It has a lot of harmful consequences. Flood damages the living conditions and it takes a lot of time to recover from this disaster. Therefore, the consequences of floods must be known and steps must be taken to prevent it. Next is we have deforestation. It refers to the decrease in forest areas across the world that are lost for other uses, such as agricultural croplands, urbanization, or mining activities. Deforestation affects wild animals, plants, and humans. It greatly accelerated by human activity since 1960. Deforestation has been negatively affecting natural ecosystems, biodiversity, and the climate. The loss of trees and other vegetation can cause climate change, desertification, soil erosion, fewer crops, flooding, increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and a host of problems for indigenous people. Next is wastewater. Is any water that has been contaminated by human use. Wastewater is used water from any combination of domestic, industrial, commercial, or agricultural activities, surface runoff or storm water, and any sewer inflow or soil infiltration. According to research, globally, 80% of wastewater flows back into the ecosystem without being treated or used, contributing to a situation where around 1.8 billion people use a source of drinking water contaminated with feces, putting them at risk of contracting cholera, dysentery, typhoid, and polio. Next is food waste. Or food loss is food that is not eaten. The causes of food waste or loss are numerous and occur throughout the food system during production, processing, distribution, retail, and consumption. Global food loss and waste amount to between one third and one half of all food produced. When food waste ends up in landfill, it decomposes anaerobically and releases methane emissions, a greenhouse gas that is 28 times more potent than carbon dioxide over a 100-year period and 84 times more on a 20-year scale. Worldwide, 8.2% of greenhouse gas emissions result from food waste alone. According to research, the food produced and then later goes to waste is estimated to be equivalent to 3.3 billion tons of greenhouse gas emission, accelerating the impacts of climate change. Research also has it that food waste is the third biggest emitter of greenhouse gases.
As a student and as a citizen, I am deeply concerned about our environment, and I am here to express my concerns. Our community needs to be more environmentally friendly. It's not only about plastic bags when it comes to being environmentally conscious. It's about making everyday decisions that will determine our species' success or failure. We can be more attentive of pollution reduction, animal protection, natural resource conservation, and other acts that can help reduce the rate of climate change.
Here are some ways that we can do. We need to reduce the amount of trash we create and to reuse or repurpose consumer goods. rather than throwing them away. We need to start a program where we can all volunteer to help clean up our community and also participate in watershed protection. We can educate others to help them understand the importance and value of our natural resources. Next is conserved water. The less water we use, the less runoff and wastewater that eventually end up in the ocean. Last is plant a tree. Trees provide food and oxygen. They help save energy, clean the air, and help combat climate change. Planting more trees helps to maintain healthy soils and humidity levels in the air around the world. It begins when trees regulate the water cycle. Trees absorb air and transpire it back into the atmosphere, effectively filtering and controlling the levels of humidity wherever they are.
Everyone can make a difference, especially when environmentally conscious choices become second nature and even influence others to follow that example. Doing the right thing for the planet's future can even provide immediate personal benefits. It may help us to tap into our creativity, get us more involved in our communities and the world, and even help us live a better lifestyle. Enacting green and environmentally friendly practices in our community will immediately make it healthier for the people who live there, allowing us to live longer, happier, and more productive lives. That's all I have to say. I hope you've taken into consideration all I've said. Once again, thank you for your time.